yeah, today we're going to jump in and look at the nine centers and really start to understand what they mean. You know, when you come into human design for the first time, you like see all these boxes, these triangles and squares and diamond in the middle, and it's like, okay, what are these? What are these centers? They're called centers. Well, they're deeply tied to, primary functions within our body. So they're not just centers. They're deeply connected to how to the human body. So just quite beautiful. But we're not going to go too in depth to their direct correlation, but we will show you, allowing us to understand how fundamentally important it is to know what this energy is, what these centers are, how they work, how they function correctly, or in what we call a shadow state, not self state, which can create a lot of dis-ease and literally create disease within our mental states and within our physical form and body. So, yeah, is there anything else you want to add on to that introduction?
Yeah, I just find that knowing the nine centers really help because it gives us a quite specific aspect of our body. It's not just the physical body, but also understanding our energetic body. If you watch our previous video on the aura, it's tied to that. Like aura is the extensions of expressing, and the center is actually, the hubs that holding that all energetic functions that we have.
Beautiful. So since 1781, we're not going to go too far into the past here, but before 1781, we had the seven-centered Homo sapien. And this is what we're deeply still connected to, what we've been taught in schools or in, spiritual communities, the seven-centered chakra system. And we're just not that anymore. We haven't been that since 1781, since the discovery of Uranus, however you would like to pronounce that. Uranus, yeah. Depends which country you reside in. Rose and I have a little joke around that. You'll get to know it as we go. Probably pop up from time to time. So since 1781, we now reside within a nine-centered form. It has evolved. There was a mutation, and we are what is called a Homo sapien intransitus. And basically, we are this transitory Homo sapien that arose from 1781, and basically will start sort of dying out from 2027 onwards because there's another mutation coming then. But so we are this beautiful sort of transitional species in between, and very connected to the form, whereas the seven-centered Homo sapien was all about developing the mind and expanding the world that we live in and taking authority from the outside. So, this is the expansion of, your school systems and everything connected to these, the laws and the religious structures and everything that we have to organize us in a way and for us to obey and for us to, trust authorities outside of us. But that doesn't work for us anymore. And we can see this transition taking place. It's kind of like I can really see, the world that I was indoctrinated into and raised as a seven-centered being, create your reality, manifest your reality, the mind, the ajna, if you want to circle sort of where I'm talking about. For the seven-center model, they're all about the ajna, developing the ajna, and expanding the material plane. And so you look around, we have so much. We could, and more, so much and more. We have so much. It's like, where's the end? When can we just come back to being? Well, this is what the Homo sapien and transitus is about. It's about the development and this evolutionary track that we're on now, about developing the spirit consciousness, which is the solar plexus. And we are deeply connected to the form. It's the mind is not the authority. The mind is just mind. So it's a measuring tool. It's a beautiful tool. It's here to externalize. It's here to communicate, and do all those wonderful things that it does. But we're so used to and being raised to make decisions from it. And it does continue to cause a lot of disharmony, destruction, chaos within our lives. And so what human design does, it brings us back to our form. It shows us that we are different from the 7-centered model. We are a 9-centered being, and we're here to make decisions from the body. And so this, if you look at your design, you'll see that you have some centers colored in, some are white, and this will indicate where your authority lies in one of these centers. So if we just look, sorry to sort of get a little bit distracted in a little bit more of the technical concepts of human design. I always like giving out so many details. I'll pull myself back a bit. But if we look at the chart, we can see that it's divided in, we've got the 2 pressure centers. So the yellow triangle at the top, which is physical head pressure. And then we've got the root center at the bottom, and physical pressure to move in life. So we have the pressure from above and below. And then that pressure, it moves through the 3 awareness centers. And the awareness centers is the splenic on the left there, and the ajna, the mind. And then we have the solar plexus, which I mentioned this is where we are in our evolutionary track and our development as a species. So deeply connected to the body and our spirit consciousness. And then we have the 4 motor centers. So again, we've got the root, we've got the sacral, the red sacral in the center there, the ego, and then also the solar plexus. Okay, and then the root and the solar plexus, they play 2 functions. The solar plexus plays 2 functions. It's an awareness center, plus it is a motor. And yes, it is probably the most sort of, I guess, sort of a negative word, but volatile center in that sense, because it is motorized emotions, a motorized center that's still developing, and we can really feel the pressures of that at this point in time. So, and then what else we have? So they're the 4 motor centers, and then you've got the solar plexus that has a dual purpose. And then we've got our beautiful G center, the diamond in the middle, which is our identity, our love and direction. And then we have our throat center, which is, communication, our action. It's our connection to the exterior world. So that's a nice little overview. Did you want to add on to that?
Yeah. What I want to share here is just about the transitions, that what we do not realize, that we have new hardware, and we have a new hardware. And the thing is that we still try to live our life based on the old hardware, meaning we try to live our life based like our ancestors. And with, being a Homo sapien transitus, becoming a 9-center being, our body has this 9 centers being functions. And the way we live is totally different than the way our ancestors live. Because if we go through in details, this require one whole session if we want to talk about this. If we go through in details, we're gonna, there's a lot to uncover. Like our ancestors have a short lifespan. We actually have a long lifespan. But if we try to live our new hardware like an old hardware, it's totally gonna tear us, it's gonna be a wear and tear body. So we're gonna get a lot of illnesses. Like we already seen a lot of illnesses on this earth. Maybe long time ago, maybe long time ago, we probably maybe have only few illnesses that we can name, but now we have so many illnesses because we do not honor our new hardware. And this is what human design brings. It brings awareness for us to become more aware of our body, our form. And it's not just aware of our mind and aligning that, we call it mind body kind of alignment, but it's more of awareness towards that our body has its own intelligence and our body knows how to live in this new form. And what we got to do is just becoming more aware of these functions. So this is why we talk about, human design system is an incredible system in terms of explaining this in details.
Yeah, it certainly has the details. Yeah, beautifully put. Exactly. We have the form evolves, and yeah, we do have new hardware, and we don't use it correctly, and it certainly does. It creates all kinds of issues in the life, and it shows up so uniquely because we are all imprinted uniquely, and we all have open centers where others are defined, and yeah, so to know where you're vulnerable, where you're weak in a sense, where you're open, yeah, certainly a blessing to have this understanding come into our awareness and be able to recognize it instead of having it play out in a distortion and yeah, and fall into potential illness. Exactly. So yeah, let's jump into the next slide. So did you want to to lead into this one?
Yeah. Before that, whoever is watching us in Facebook right now, we would like to say hi. Would love if you can, if you have any comment or anything that you want to share, feel free to say hi, click like or love so that we know that you're interacting with us. If you have any questions, feel free to ask us as well, and we'll be happy to answer them.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So let's go into this overview of the 9 centers, a little bit details and its biological correlations to it. So why not you do the pressure center?
Okay. Yeah, beautiful. All right. So as I mentioned before, we have the head center and we have the root center. They're 2 pressure centers. The root center is a motor, so very strong and powerful energy there. So it's, it's attached to our adrenal glands. It's our, kundalini, I guess, in the 7-centered sense. It is really the base, the root, very powerful energy. So it's the pressure to move. It's our adrenaline that runs through the body. It's physical stress. It's the balance between the fear and the trust. I used to say, if you just sit around, nothing will happen. Well, you try and do that, your form will move you, the mind can think whatever it likes, but it is here it literally creates that pressure in order to evolve us, to move us into situations and connect to others in ways that are correct for us. So yeah, it's quite strong in that sense, and it, moves out, up into the sacral or through to the solar plexus or to the spleen. But very powerful energy there. And pressure, we can't escape pressure. Pressure is beautiful. I think Ra used to say, people with undefined root centers, they're always wanting to just be free of pressure. Well, we can't escape pressure. We have to identify what that pressure is and allow it, play with it, use it in a way that is correct for us. It's not here to make decisions from. The two pressure centers, the head and the root, they are never the authority. But yeah, if you have a defined root, there is, this is energy that you're used to that pressure. And if it's undefined, it can be amplified energy. So wherever we're open, if you look at your chart and there's a white center, you're very much coming into contact with someone that does have a defined root, and you can feel that surge of energy run through you and really overuse it and find yourself fatigued. So yeah, it's really important that we harness what energy is ours and what is not, and learn to use it correctly. But it is ultimately these pressure centers to move us into action, into a life that is correct for us. So that's a little bit on the root center there, but the head center, there's no pressure there. It's mental pressure. It's not a physically felt pressure. So the mental pressure to doubt, to question life, to seek the inner mysteries in life. If it's open, again, this amplification of pressure to doubt or think. And a lot of people can be stuck in this area in their lives, wanting to answer other people's questions, lost in questions. But yeah, so this is where our inspiration comes from. It's a pressure to translate our experience, to notice what comes through our awareness. What are those questions? What are those doubts? And enjoy them, but not acting on them. Be able to express them in a way, if it has made sense to you, or you're in communion with someone and it's nice to elaborate or explore. And this is deeply tied to our pineal gland. So, I love educating students, taking them through the Living Your Design for this reason, because, it's a regulator of the brain, of the two hemispheres. And if it's not working correctly, this is where we get, people that can't sleep well at night. What is it? Sleep deprivation or anxiety, all of those things. Well, anxiety is more in the ajna, but yeah, it's the regulator. It helps us regulate that sleep-wake cycle. So really important that this center, its function is utilized correctly, instead of us being stuck in a place of concern or too lost in that collective space. Yeah. Trying to answer everyone's questions or whatever the case may be. Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, physical pressure there to evolve us. We're in a pressure sandwich, Ra like to say. So enjoy that pressure, and just have a look again at the design and see if they're open or not, because that might give you a little signpost as to whether you're utilizing that energy correctly or not. So yeah, do you want to take us through the awareness or add on anything to that I missed?
No, I mean, when it comes to pressure, it's right. Pressure is something that you learn to deal with if you have it defined. What it means by defined, if you look at your body graph, if there is colored, if the center is colored, then it's defined. So it's you're born with it. It's part of your nature. So you learn to deal with it. Like, for example, both of us are completely opposite. You have open head and open root, whereas I have defined head and defined root. So the way I deal with pressure and the way you deal with pressure is completely different. And so, yeah, pressure is just about dealing with thing. And it's not easy when it comes to pressure. It's not easy. It's not easy. So we can go deeper from time to time on this, because there's so many things to talk about Nine Center. Just the center itself, so many things. So from the pressure center, we move to the awareness center. So we have 3 awareness centers. We have here in the splenic, in the ajna, this is mental awareness, and then solar plexus, this is emotional awareness. Splenic is a body awareness, body consciousness. But before I forgot, this centers does not all the centers sits in the positions of your body. Not all the centers sits in the position of body. Like you would know later when we talk about the G centers, like G centers related to the liver and the blood. So it's entirely whole body. Same goes with splenic center here. Now, splenic center is the body consciousness, body awareness. This is about the health and the well-being. It's not just about your well-being. This is also about the tribal well-being. This is also about the collective well-being. So when it tied to the root, like how I have in my design, this is the pressure to evolve so that we can continue exist as a species. The pressure to evolve by having purpose, the pressure to evolve by correcting our lifestyle, correcting the way we live, correcting our health in order to survive. And why? Because the splenic center itself is a center of immunity. It's a center of immune system. It's a center of lymphatic system. These people who have splenic defined, in my case, the splenic is not just defined, but also my authority, my so-called ultimate truth, my highest guidance, my highest intelligence is the splenic. So meaning I rely so much on my intuition. This is a center of intuition, the center of instincts. This is the oldest awareness center in our human body. And I rely on my immune system. I rely on my intuition to tell me what's safe and what's not safe for me in the now. And I can rely on that. If my body feels like, all right, this food is off, it tastes off, it smells off, and I can trust that because it's been tested. It's been tested when I go against it. So the immune system is there to protect. This is the intuition and the process of physical awareness in the now. So this is the body consciousness. It's completely different than the ajna. And the ajna is the mental consciousness, mental awareness. And ajna is it's the second awareness system that we have in our design, which has been evolved for around 85,000 to 9,000 years. In fact, the world that we are living right now is the result of development of the ajna. And this is the development of the mental intelligence. That's why we're deeply stuck in our mind. We're deeply stuck in our mental realm and ignoring the body. And the splenic has its way of communicating. It's very soft. It's very gentle communications between us and our body. That's why we rarely hear our body communicating with us until we get sick, until we're really in pain. But the ajna is different. If you can step back, you can actually hear your thoughts. You can actually observe your thoughts. But all the thoughts is not entirely represent who you are. Now, the ajna relates to the anterior and posterior of pituitary. And this is the center where we want to be certain. This is a mental concept. It's about conceptualization. It's about certainties, mental certainties. So if you have open ajna, your challenge is you constantly want to be certain about your life. You constantly want to be certain about your ideas, your opinions, your realizations, your truth, your formula, your answers, your knowing. But then it constantly gone away. Like you never be certain because you are designed not to be certain. So there's a tricks there. You want to be certain, but you're designed not to be certain. So here, when in the ajna, whether you have it defined or undefined, but when you stuck in this realm of thinking and thinking, and in effect put a pressure from the head, putting on the entry and posterior pituitary, what happens is that you're going to have these issues with sleeps because you keep thinking. Siblings is an issue, and this is the centers where we process awareness over the time. So this is time-related centers. And this is the reason why we encourage people to stop making decisions using your mind, because the decisions that you make using your mind is going to tie to time, meaning it's always past, present, future. It's going to collide in together and it's going to drag you along through times with the decisions that you make. Yeah. Do you have anything to add? Or you want to take over the solar plexus?
Oh, no, I was just going to say, yeah. And the big one, yeah, the mental anxiety that comes through.
The mental anxiety. And remember, one thing, this is something that we explore in 9 weeks Living Your Design Awakening program, which is each of these awareness center has fears. It comes together with fears. And we also have a mini course that we're going to run about fear intelligence. People mistake fears as bad, but actually fear has its own intelligence. Now, in the senses, it can be explained in a way that you can experience. For example, this planet is the primal fear, and the ajna is going to turn the fear into mental anxiety, right? And then in the solar plexus, the fear just gonna get into, manifested into a form of nervousness. So here is the newest awareness center, the newest. We still babies. It just developed around 2,500 years, and we are human being who has been on this earth for million years, through our evolutions, and 2,500 years is still really like a baby. So here we have the solar plexus, the centers, not just the awareness, but also play another function, which is a motor. So our emotions are motorized. It has energy to it. That's why when you deal with emotions, it can be so powerful. And humanity has not reached a point where we really grasp what emotions really is, because most of the time we have 50% of people who have emotions and they don't want to deal with their emotions, and another 50% of the people who do not have consistent way to deal or to process emotions, but they are the one who are always running from the emotions as well, running from the confrontations. And the emotions is related to our nervous system. Whenever you have emotions, whenever you experiencing some emotions, and it's motorized, you can feel that your nervous system get affected, especially in the face of confrontation. Whenever you face confrontations or you face the truth, you start to get, you shiver, you nervous system is affected. So nervous system is one of the biological correlations. Kidney is one of it as well, bladder, pancreas, and for men, prostate is all related to the solar plexus. And this is a center of also a spirit development. consciousness. We have not yet reached to the full state of spirit consciousness, but we are developing it. We are learning to connect with our spirits. And I've always tell people, if you want to get to know your spirit, you have to get to know your emotions, what you feel, what you're experiencing emotionally, what your passions is, what is your sensitivity is, and what your desire, what your feelings. So this is one, the latest, the newest awareness center that we are moving into the evolutions. Anything you want to add there?
And it's hard not to go deep with the details sometimes, but yeah, no, I think that's just a really nice overview of that. But yeah, I love that we've got that the course, that mini course that we're doing on the awareness centers specifically, because they're just, those centers in and of themselves are really powerful to get a handle on and to understand how they work and how we're meant to evolve through these spheres and not be stuck in them. Nine-centered being is very different, very different. And this solar plexus, it is the juiciness in life. It is our human experiential way, and we all experience emotions and the connection to others, and it can be so volatile. As you said, it's this motorized, we have motorized emotions. And so if we can really get a handle on this and learn to be intimate with ourselves first and foremost, and that's what really the Living Your Design Awakening does. It cracks that veil. It cracks you open to understand how this works and what happens when we come into connection with another, and learning not to hide behind the emotion, and also knowing that emotion in motion, it moves, so, but a lot of the time, because of this pressure, it is quite volatile. It's the most volatile center that we have. But if we can really get a hold of it and commune with the other in a way, that is true intimacy. As a nine-centered being, we're here to, as I said, communicate. We're mercurial beings, and intimacy can be found with communication, in communication with a nine-centered being. And of course, the byproduct of deep intimacy with another, in terms of communicating and really being able to see into the spirit of another, yes, all that yummy stuff that comes after that, sex, touch, whatever, it can all be found in this center. But it really is being able to explore and to allow energy to be in motion and not be stuck in it, because it fries the system, it fries the nervous system, and it's definitely, you can see the destruction in the world that is caused from this not operating in awareness. I'll hand it over to you. I actually got an itchy throat.
All right. So from the 3 awareness center, we go to the model center. So we have 4 model centers right over here. We have the root, which we already talked about. The root also play the pressure centers. And then we have solar plexus here, awareness, and also the motor centers. And then we have the ego, or the heart centers, also known as the ego, or the willpower. The heart center is about willpower, it's about ego. And majority of the population in the world do not have heart center defined. And this is, but again, this is where we are deeply conditioned. We are deeply, make believe that we have the willpower and commitment to, it makes us believe that we have consistent willpower and commitment, which we don't have. So this is a center where it relates to 4 organs, 4 biological correlations there. We have the T cells over here, and then we have the stomachs over here, and we have the gallbladder and also the heart muscle itself. And fascinating about these centers is that these are the centers that require a balance between rest and work, because otherwise it can just collapse. And if you keep working and working and working, it can really put pressure on your heart. You can put pressure on your stomach. You can put pressure on your gallbladder and also the immune system. And I always tell people that, if you have certain aspect in your design in the heart center, and you keep working without rest, the first thing that you will notice is how easily you get flu, for example, or you get stomach pain. And this is something that you want to pay attention to. Yes. You have something to say there.
Yeah. It's number one in the hierarchy, isn't it, of the distortion in the world. And, I just had my father-in-law actually recovering from a heart attack, and his first one was around the age of 50. And this is very common. And it's because we're all pushing ourselves mentally to survive, because we're in fear of how to survive on the material plane. And so, and he's very open. He's a mental projector like me, in fact. And yeah, I just, starting to see this commonality, certainly around with young people, falling into ill health, heart attacks, all of that. And this is where we find it. So as a 9-centered being, we do live longer, and we certainly are pushing ourselves a lot harder than we need to, and overworking this heart muscle. This is the actual heart muscle here. And so really beautiful to understand just how, again, all of these centers operate, and to understand what is defined or open in you, so you can really see where you're amplifying this energy and overdoing it. So a lot of great awareness around it all is sorry.
No.
My throat my throat keeps going to agitate me, so I might pause and continue.
Okay. That happens. I notice my voice is from time to time. From sacral, from heart centers, we have a sacral centers. Now, this is one of the fascinating centers for me, because majority of the populations, somewhere around 67% to 70%, are people who born with the sacral defined, and they are a generator and manifesting generator. And this is a motor centers, a sacral related to, the ovaries, the testicles. This is the reproduction center. It's a life force center. It's a life force, the life itself here. And this is the centers where you have the energy to keep going, to sustain activity. The rest of the populations, the 30%, we, like Lisa and myself, we do not have consistent energy resources to sustain our activity, our doing. Like, we cannot keep on going and going and going and doing and doing and doing. However, the rest, you can. And the most important thing is, this is a center of a response. So in correlation to the physical body in the ovary and testicles, is where I've seen that when generator and manifesting generator not using their response correctly, it can get them into problems that relate to their, activities. they are not satisfied with their activities, they're not satisfied with their sexual life, they're not satisfied with their relationship to life, because this is a life for centers, they get frustrated. And for those who are open, we, too much of doing can really burn us out to a point where you're going to have issues with your menstrual cycles, you're going to have issues with your sexual activities and so forth. So this is our sustained energy to keep going, to support our species, to keep going in the directions that going to provide us the material well-being, material success, material satisfactions. This is also part of the, movement of the tantric. The creativity is all here in the sacral.
Yeah.
Why not you can you talk about G, since this is your realm.
Yeah, the love and direction. Yeah. But no, I love what you put on, mentioned about the sacral. It's this, we have all these beautiful generators that are generating this life force on this planet, this juicy vortex of energy. It's like that. I always call it the lithium battery. It regenerates. And so if you've got this center defined, and if you're dissatisfied and frustrated with your life, that is what you're putting out, and it's degenerating you, literally degenerating you. So really important. I love waking up that sacral energy. So but very key as a projector to know that if that's undefined, then yeah, you're not here to work.
Yeah.
Yeah, key. So yeah, we're left with the G center, and yeah, I always enjoy leaving this last in the Living Your Design. I look forward to going over our course together. And yeah, this is directly, related to our liver, our blood. It's the self. It is the magnetic monopole, meaning it attracts and pulls us along our geometry in life. In the basic concepts of human design, it's what captures the frequency of the design crystal and the personality crystal. It holds us together. It is our compass. It holds us together in the illusion of our separateness. It captures those two frequencies together. So the unconscious and the conscious aspects of who we are. And yeah, it pulls the life. We move along this beautiful geometry in life and get to be a witness of this life. It is the driver, which is specifically in gate 2. It holds 2 full crosses in it. One is the Sphinx, which is all about direction, and the vessel of love, which is my cross, which is all about love. Sharing love. There's, love of humanity in gate 15, the love of the body, the love of adorning the body. Hence why I sort of can't let go of the fashion side of things. It's an aspect of who I am. This is, my cross here. This is what I bear and what I present, and realize myself as this person that loves. And hence why I invited Rose in, to share within this beautiful collective hub, threaded earth. We're all threaded together as one, and so yeah, love of the body, gate 46, universal love, so very self-centered, my place in this whole, loving my place in this universal field. I'm the center of my universe. We are all centers of our universe. So that is deeply connected to the blood. The blood connects us. The blood connects everything. You think of the internal of your body, the blood is the life. And gate 10, which is the love of self, love being the expression of who I am for myself, and the way I move and act in the world. So yeah, it's a really powerful, beautiful center. They're all incredibly important. And yeah, if this is undefined in you, the not self theme here is, am I looking for love and direction? You could have this inconsistent identity, unsure of the love or the direction. And really here, you know, what this G center is all about, and this capturing of these two frequencies, is we are the love that we've been looking for. And this is what the Living Your Design Awakening and Human Design really really captures, and allows you to understand what self-love really is. And when you learn to love yourself and not chase after what you are not, that's where we find others that we can commune with and connect with and enjoy being ourselves with them. Yeah. But yeah, I think Ra said, if the G is undefined, so if it's white, it's not consistent energy. It's like if you come into connection with another, it can feel like, oh, it's like someone's turned your light on. So for me, having this undefined, it really is, you know, how do I feel with this person? You know, do I feel like myself with them? And, you know, so yeah, really important, really, really beautiful to understand, like, all these centers. I think one of the biggest eye openers for me was really the ego and the root center, you know, trying to, in a hurry to prove myself. So yeah, it's all so key to our well-being and physical and mental states to get a grasp of what this means. And yeah, really enjoying bringing this knowledge forward under the banner of Threaded Earth. It really fits, it really feels good, and I'm so grateful that you're with me, Rose. I just love your work, and yeah, looking forward to our journey onward with everything. And yeah, looking forward to the community you know, collaborating with us and being involved. And yeah, if you're listening back to this, I'd love yeah, if you have any questions, again, we're very open. And yeah, before I mentioned our courses and stuff, do you want to add on anything to that G center? Sorry, I sort of skipped over.
No, you cover everything with the G center perfectly.
Okay.
Yeah.
Inner compass.
Yeah, in a compass, yes.
Yeah.
We both have it open, so we are completely surrendered to where our directions takes us, rather than try to dictate the directions mentally, because it's not going to work. If you try to figure out your directions mentally, it's just going to make you feel lost.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. So yeah, that's the 9 centers.
No, we haven't touched the truth.
Oh,
you want to go to the truth?
Yeah, well, why don't you take that away? Sorry, I was just going to leave that whole voice box out there. The gears.
Yeah. The throat centers. This is the centers where all the pressures in your body want to get out. They want to be released through the throat. So this is a center of communications, actions, metamorphosis, manifestations.
I'm just laughing because I always finish on the G center, and that's why I was like, oh, yeah, it's done. We're done. Sorry.
It's all right. This is where the centers where your authentic voice is. This is a center where, when you go through your deconditioning process, meaning you get to know your design, you follow your strategy authority, you get to, slowly reveal who you are, slowly seeing who you are that is already there in you. You can see the difference in your voice, because your voice carries authentic frequency. So it's in the throat center. And throat centers is also a centers of manifestations, but we are not talking about what you can manifest, because this is not a pressure center. This is not a motor centers. This is just a gearbox. The center acts like a gearbox, in itself, it won't take you anywhere. Manifestation can only happen when throat centers are connected to any of these motor centers. And then it's related to the throat centers, related to the thyroid and parathyroid. It's related to metabolism. So if you have defined throat centers, you have consistent way of communicating, you have consistent way of doing things. However, if you try to push through the energy to your throat, you can get thyroid issues. I have seen people who with defined throat, they have thyroid problems, weight issues, because, this is part of the metabolism center. And if you have undefined throat, you do not have consistency in doing. You do not have consistency in communications. Like myself, Lisa and I are completely opposite. Lisa have this defined. She have consistent voice. She have consistent way of saying things. She have consistent way of doing things. I, on the other hand, do not have consistent voice. The way I speak will depend on who I talk to. I basically will speak through their voice. And the way, life happens to me, life manifests is not consistent. It happens in spurts. So most of the time, the way I operate through my design is completely different than the majority of the populations. And if you have undefined throat, in the North Self, you can be someone who really talkative. But on the other hand, your nature self, you're actually designed to be very quiet, and, you can get comfortable with silence. Like yesterday, I told Lisa, there are certain, I love silence, but there are certain silence really uncomfortable for me because the throat can feel it. So here in the throat centers, something that, the least centers that we pay attention to, but this is one of the crucial centers because every energy in your body is going to release through the throat. Either you release through communications, actions, building a form, metamorphosis, transforming of energy, manifestation, it's all going there through your throat.
Yeah, I love how Ra describes this. All roads lead to Rome, and Rome is the throat center.
Yeah.
So, yeah, very powerful to get a grip on that. Yeah, we all want to be heard, we all want to be seen, and we all want to be stars, but there's a way in which communication is correct and flows with ease.
Yeah. And communication and action also has a timing, right? Timing. And, while Ajna is a center that ties to time, and root center is a pressure of time pressure, and the throat center is about right timing. When is the right timing to communicate? When is the right timing to act? When is the right timing to transform? It's all there in the throat center. And of course, it takes time to become aware of how your energy flowing out through your throat.
Yeah, incredible. Yeah, and there's specific voices attached to that throat center too, which is always fun to go through people's designs and yeah, always lovely. Yeah, to visit.
Yeah, we do that in Living Your Design, where we go through the voices of your throat, depends, looking at your design, saying the voices of your throat, and tell you what are the voices that authentically yours. What are the voices that you are open to conditions, that whenever you say it, you're not speaking in alignment to yourself, but rather you're speaking through the experience of others, or you're speaking through through other people's energy. And from there, you get to discern what authentically from you that you're saying or you're acting.
Yeah, really powerful. Yeah. So yeah. So I think I love that. I think we went into a little bit more depth than we had sort of thought.
We already know that's going to happen.
Yeah, we could talk for days. We never know when enough is enough. But yeah, we didn't want to overwhelm anyone, but just simply bring in to show you what are the centers. You know, they're not just energetic hubs, they're deeply connected to our body. And yeah, we would love for you to take a look at your design. If you haven't seen it, we can put the link of mybodygraph.com as it's a really good place. Yeah, really good place to start, and to start having a look at there's lots of free material on that website as well. And yeah, if you want to find out more, you can contact us, and we've got some great courses coming up. The fear intelligence, where we specifically look at the 3 awareness centers and the fears that are attached to each center, and what is yours, what is not, and what are you here to evolve into. And the Living Your Design, we don't have a course date for that one at the moment, but we're open to starting one at any time if we had interest. So we have the all types, or we have the projector specifically. And we are starting the emerging projector, the emerging leaders. So that's a little introduction course into the projector energy and what we're here to really be in this lifetime, and what we're really developing into, and why we need projectors to wake up and to become these natural guides that we are. So we have that up and coming. If you're a projector, or if you don't know your projector, then we'll drop in the link of mybodygraph.com, and you can see. But if you want to find out more about anything that we've discussed today, please don't hesitate to reach out and contact Rose or I at any time.
Yeah.
Would you like to add anything on?
No. It's perfect. We covered everything. We share everything that we are meant to share. I always believe that what comes out from my throat is meant to say it. And it's perfect. And we'll be doing this from time to time, educating people to their design. So hopefully subscribe, and if you resonate, subscribe us, and hopefully you get the notifications when we go live to see that.
You can jump onto the website threadedearth.com and subscribe to the email. We do send out emails. It's been sort of weekly at the moment, to show you what's up and coming, the courses that we have, and all the free discussions that we've got coming out. So enjoying moving the knowledge out and working through the foundations. So I'll tie that up from my end. And thank you so much, Rose, for being here with me today. And I look forward to coming back with what we have installed. Whoa, where'd you go?
I'm here.
There.
Just so that they can see.
Oh, lovely. It took me out of the screen altogether. I'm like, where'd you go? I think next time we're going to bring in the element of the BG5 application, the business and career application, into human design, and show you how practical that knowledge is. And Rose is going to take us through that. So look forward to that.
Till next time. See you guys. Have a nice weekend.
Till next
everyone.
time. Goodbye.
Bye.
Bye.